Hey Forum, my name is Manny, aka CascadeScents. Welcome to another video. As you see by the title, this one is on my very best back to school fragrances for 2020. Now I'm really excited to present all these fragrances to you despite the ongoing pandemic circumstances, because I think back to school is to be celebrated. Yeah, I sound like a geek, but at the same time you get to see your friends every day, you get to flex and or impress people with what you're wearing and whatnot, and in this case as well with what you are smelling like. Again, fragrances are important, that's why you're here, so I hope you enjoy this show. That being said, I'm not too far removed from when I was last in school myself, so I do feel like I know what goes into an appropriate school fragrance, at least in the West. So whether you're in high school, college, and or university, I think you are looking for something that's not going to break the bank because you know you have other expenses and whatnot. You're also looking for value, so you want to last a long time, but at the same time you don't want to scream off your skin because you also want it to be work and or school safe. So whether you're just waking up, getting ready for school, spraying it on, and or having to reapply this sometime throughout the day, and or if you're going to use this for work and or maybe the gym, I feel like some of these and or most of these you could potentially use for some of these situations on top of just school too. So yeah, I feel like I do have a little bit of everything here for everyone. That being said, mask culture feels like it's in full effect in most of the areas that I personally am familiar with. That and social distancing, of course, so I feel like we're not going to have as many night outy clubby situations, especially if you're a little bit more responsible yourself. I know you guys have to live though. So what won't be on the list is stuff that is going to absolutely scream off your skin for more night out situations, just because it's probably in your best interest to not do that right now, and or throughout the year, presuming things don't actually improve that soon. So yeah, we'll see, fingers crossed. That being said, we got a lot to get through here, so we might as well get into the first offering, and here it is. This one is called Nautica Voyage by Nautica. Now this stuff gets a lot of talk in the community for three reasons: it's cheap, it lasts, and it smells awesome. So as far as what it smells like, yeah, I know the bottle is clear with a blue liquid inside, but trust me, this opening is rather green. You have some green leafiness, but ultimately what's jumping off your skin is this green apple note. And to me, what it smells like is kind of like when you are having a snack or lunch and you have a Granny Smith apple, you take a bite out of that, and then the freshness is just emitting off of that. That's the kind of vibe you're getting out of this stuff right here. Back that up with ambery notes, musky notes, and mainly marine notes. That's why it's, again, dyed blue here. You really can't go wrong with this stuff as far as what you can potentially rock it for any of your situations. So again, for homeroom, or if you're going to the gym, or if you're going to work, say if you have work outside of school, it has enough bite that you might want to over apply it, say if you are going out. So yeah, it's simply a jack of all trades kind of fragrance. It gets talked about for good reason, and at the price point it's at, there's really not too many detractors for this stuff right here. So once again, if you have yet to check this out, do so already. It's going to cost you a large pizza and a ham sandwich. Again, it's Nautica Voyage by Nautica. Moving on to the next fragrance on this list, here we go. This one is called Ginger Lover by Azzaro. Now what's really cool about Azzaro's Ginger Lover is that it takes some of the most appealing aspects of fragrance from the L'Homme line in L'Homme Ultime by, of course, Yves Saint Laurent. It makes it, in my opinion, a little bit more versatile as far as who would like it more. L'Homme Ultime smells great, but it's a little on the pricey side if you are a student. So of course I think you might like this stuff more just on price alone, but on smell alone as well, because that stuff might smell a little bit too sophisticated with a little bit of a floral touch in the rose there, and that's what I'm talking about as far as what this stuff doesn't emphasize. So it rather emphasizes the more gingery aspects, hence the name Ginger Lover, and that fresh spicy awesomeness just smells awesome. You also have lime off the top here, which smells really juicy, and I just think it's very uplifting, very fresh despite how warm this bottle presentation looks. And you also have a little bit of vetiver in the base to assist with the longevity, also adding a little bit of a woody touch. That being said, for the most part, you're getting this fresh, spicy, warm, spicy kind of vibe. Very sensual stuff that is sure to pull in some compliments if people can actually get a whiff of this through their masks. I mean, this DNA-ish is kind of proven over the years with the L'Homme DNA, again from Yves Saint Laurent, but again fashioned in a further more accessible way. So yeah, with that vibe, I pretty much use this stuff for anything that isn't the gym or anything really active. So if not that, yeah, otherwise you are really good with this stuff. So that being said, check it out if you've yet to. Again, it's a further more accessible Ginger Lover by Azzaro. Again, also not going to break the bank. Now moving on to the next back to school fragrance, here we go. This one is called Sunset Riot by All Saints. Now if you know fragrance, if you know the fragrance community, you would also know that this stuff right here smells very reminiscent to another notorious fragrance, one that's on the niche level in Baccarat Rouge 540. That being said, for a more sophisticated scent, that stuff still leans more accessible as far as most noses are going to like it. And I think this one here on the designer level, which is more accessible in the price point, is also a a more accessible smell overall in Sunset Riot. So instead of Baccarat Rouge 540's more candied vibe here, you replace that with notes like pink pepper and orange flower just jumping off the top. So the slight kick of the pink pepper with the orange flower sweetness and or slight floraliness just smells delicious off your skin. I guess it's kind of sweet in a candied way too, but doesn't smell like something that's too sickly. So I really do believe in how palatable this stuff is, and I think you're going to get a lot of positive feedback with it as well. Got a little bit of cedarwood in the base here too, but it's not going to lean too woody. Trust me, the focus here is on the sweets and the more complement factoring aspects of the scent overall. And to be honest, I do think that this stuff has the highest potential for compliments on this list. So if that's for you, definitely check this out if you've yet to. But I must say, it is kind of hard to get a hold of if you are in an area that's not so metropolitan, say if you don't have an All Saints around you. But at least you can pick it up online, but to my knowledge, it's not heavily discounted yet. But as far as dollar per ml value for an imitation of a rather hallowed scent right now, I do think that this stuff is very good value for the most part. So definitely don't sleep on this DNA and or All Saints as a whole if you already are. If you don't know, now you know. It's Sunset Riot by All Saints. Wear this for all your dates and or when you're really trying to impress someone in the hallways. Moving on to the next best back to school scent, here we go. This one is by Scotch and Soda. It's called Barfly. Now what I love about Barfly is that it gives you this ozonic kind of freshness, which I love throughout the fragrances that I came up knowing in the early 2000s. So it didn't feel too ambery and or marine when it came to the freshness that is coming out nowadays. I feel like it's more subdued and more comforting, a little bit mossy, if that makes any sense, and just cozy overall. And when it transitions into the base of stuff that smells like sandalwoody and or vanillic, that's where this stuff truly shines. And I really like it when scents kind of capture you with, again, something that feels rather vibrant in the air, but as you get closer, it gets better and better and better. And when you're in skin scent range of this stuff, I just feel like it's just a perfect snuggle scent. So when it's cuffing season, which is really soon, this is definitely the scent I would want to have if I was still in school for whoever I may or may not be with right now. That being said, it is not cheap as far as dollar per ml value in comparison to everyone else here. So if you are balling on a budget, I would definitely watch out and maybe potentially look at other offerings on this list instead of this one right here. But for me, it has enough coziness and compliment factor, as well as me naturally just loving this DNA here. And that's why I had to rank it on this list. It's the cozy, sophisticated rich boy that's not too douchey. And that's why I love it, say if you want to kind of come off as that too. So if you didn't know already, now you know. This one is Barfly by Scotch and Soda. Alright Forum, before we conclude this video, I, Manny from the not so distant past and or future, has something to say on behalf of our beloved sponsor for today, and that is Ekster. Ekster makes these really premium wallets that will definitely set you apart from the rest of the pack when it comes to coolness. And while there are other quick access RFID blocking wallets out there, I think this one with this kind of motion that you just push, it's the slickest I've ever personally used. Of course, you have a nice minimalist design here that I can't also get enough of. You just have all the essentials here. So nowadays you're not carrying that much cash and the world is largely going into a more digital direction. So why not go with something like this? But the real star of the show is this guy right here behind the wallet. This is your Ekster Chipolo tracker card, and I think this thing is quite awesome. You kind of just slide it in back there, and then you sync it to the Chipolo app on your iPhone and or Android. And from here, in case you misplace your wallet, you can actually find out where it is. So let me show you. So on the app, I can physically click on Ring to Find. And there you go. So wherever this is at, wherever you might have left it locally and or wherever, you'll always have access to it via the app, ensuring that you'll never lose the location of this wallet unless someone actually takes the tracker card out. But this thing works both ways too, because I don't know about you guys, whenever I'm working at home, I always seem to misplace my actual phone. And now I can use this right here in the tracker card's buzzer to actually find my phone locally if it's just nearby. So also check this out now. I'm going to double click the tracker card. Come on, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I have to give a big shout out to them for sponsoring this video. So what I'm saying is, if you guys want, also support my sponsors because they're able to support this as far as furthermore financially. And just so you know, that love is furthermore reciprocated from our end. You'll get a discount on any of these great extra wallets using my affiliate link in the description below. It's only a summer seasonal automatic code applying, so please do not sleep. So it's specifically the Parliament wallet by Ekster for the win. Now continuing on with the date theme and or something that you can still rock in the classroom, here we go with the next offering. This one is Lacoste Pour Homme by Lacoste. Now this is a very special fragrance to me because I was wearing this stuff throughout college and high school as well. But again, I'm not too far removed from when I was last in college, so don't let that notion sound too dated to you. What I like about this stuff the most is that you get an accessible booziness here with the rum note in the base, and I think it gets into the base rather well with fruity notes that precede it. So fruits like apple and plum, I think, just really pair well with, again, those boozier notes, just because they don't come off as sharp and fresh in a way you'd like to use sharp and fresh notes for like aquatics, for example. I just feel like everything flows here, but it also doesn't feel too night outy to the point that you can't use this in the classroom. Like for me, I wouldn't rock Eros to the classroom by Versace, but I would rock this stuff to the classroom and or after it. And when you're not looking for your more subdued needs, I would actually kind of overspray this, despite having good longevity already. But again, it has such a night outy vibe, like one that you want to go out with the boys in, but again, just doesn't have that projection. But again, that's kind of what you want when you do need this for your more work-in or school-safe situations. But yeah, you can't have it all when it comes to a school fragrance. As far as when you want this to project more and more when you don't want to project more, damn it, just spray more again if you really want that. But really hard to hate here and still really easy on your wallet if you are getting it on the secondary and or gray market. So check this out if you've yet to. Again, it's Lacoste Pour Homme by Lacoste. And now moving on to the next scent on this list, and now I'm actually going to mention Versace but not Eros. This one is Versace Pour Homme. Now what's cool about Versace Pour Homme is that it smells a lot like a fragrance that is made famous by Chanel in Allure Homme Sport, but I feel like this stuff has since actually superseded it just because of how much more affordable it is, not just on the retail market but on the secondary / gray market too. No, I do not think that this stuff is a better fragrance as far as higher quality or anything like that. It just focuses on the more appealing aspects of an Allure Homme Sport. Like if you want more versatile and or fresh, let's just focus on that shit. So here you don't really have an aldehydic classic Chanel vibe, but to achieve that brightness instead of that stuff, here they are focusing more on the citrus florals and or citruses. So if you love stuff like citron, bergamot, and again citrus florals like neroli, you are going to love this stuff. Also no slouch in the performance department as well, so if you want to have this stuff sprayed in just your pulse points and want to last, it will. If you want to use this for maybe a lunch date or something like that, you want to go a little bit more jumpier off your skin, spray a little bit more, or maybe spray a little less because this stuff is fresh enough to be perfect for the gym, for example, too. Say if you want to wear this fragrance as one to just not stink with. So yeah, definitely school and or work safe enough for all of your homeroom needs and again others. So definitely check this out as an alternative to the Chanel, but again, you know how I feel as far as it carving out its own reputation throughout the fragrance community and outside of it. So once more, it is Versace Pour Homme by Versace. And last but not least, here we go to close out the list. It is yet again another Versace, and it's their blue one. It's Dylan Blue. So if you thought I would go throughout the whole list without at least mentioning one blue fragrance, well, you're wrong. Simply put, I think Dylan Blue is way too good for what it brings to the table as far as evaluation and what it does. So here it's less metallic than something like Sauvage, but the bergamot opening is almost just as bright, and you have a nice deep waters vibe with the patchouli and ambroxan as well. Very versatile stuff that you can definitely rock for homeroom use, date use, work use. It's just the classic blue freshie for me. Now mind you, if money is no object to you and you want to go after something a little bit more suited up, like a Bleu de Chanel and its grapefruit yet somewhat smoky vibe, or if you have the money for Sauvage or its flankers, then those fragrances are equally awesome in their own rights. But with that being said, this one is just as versatile and it costs a fraction of the price, so I really think it's hard to go up against as far as just overall if we consider everything. So that's why it gets a nod on this list. So definitely check this out if you've yet to on the secondary and or gray market level, because I really do think it's one of the better deals to be had there. Once more, it is Versace Pour Homme Dylan Blue by Versace. And there it is for them. Hopefully you enjoyed my back to school fragrances list. Again, I feel like I really covered almost everything for everyone here. Got some sweet and or cozy stuff, got some fresh and or effervescent stuff, got stuff that kind of leans both. So I'm sure you'll find something here for your school year if you have yet to. That being said, again, I am sorry to all my night owls for not including some more bona fide night out favorites here, just because I really tailored this list to what I think you'll most need throughout this specific, really special 2020 school year. So fingers crossed things get better with the pandemic and whatnot. Be safe out there if you are heading back to school. It's hard out there for a G right now. And hey, if things do improve, then maybe I should have really included the Wanteds or the Invictuses on this list. But in closing, if you enjoyed this list overall, definitely give give me a thumbs up. Please let me know that you do with that, as well as in the comment section below too. Really appreciate your feedback. I try to respond and or read everyone's comments, so don't think that your feedback goes unheard, because it doesn't. And if you really appreciate this kind of content, definitely hit me with a subscribe as well as hitting the notification bell as hard as you can, so you'll always be the first on these uploads and you never miss a thing. So until the next one, that about does it for me. Thank you again for your ongoing support. Take care for now. Peace out. Bye. Wear your fragrances.